So when us men go to Colombia or Brazil and meet women, we're exploiting them. But when you women go to Europe and sleep with a bunch of Italian men, you're just living your best life? Got it.
Outside of this country, well, men are completely different outside of this country as well. So if you think they're not going to backtalk and things like that to you, you have another thing coming, especially Latin women. Any Latin woman. They want their visas. That's why, they'll go with it, because they want their visas, not because they actually want you. I'm just saying, how long do you expect these relationships to last after they get their visas?
Fam, I have to point out the irony when Western women state that foreign women are with Western men conditionally. Western ladies, what would be the difference between foreign women and you? Do you really think Western men don't know all women love them conditionally? Only pets and little ones are loved unconditionally, even if they mess up your nice clean rugs. But that's another story. Sorry, queens, but it's a tad bit hypocritical to say those women want men for resources. Men should stay in their own country, where women who put in for a 70%.
Ensuring that American women are viewed as more educated and articulate, while women from other countries are seen as lacking in wisdom and eloquence, perpetuates harmful stereotypes.
What I can appreciate about Passport Bros is I think it's an effective flag being raised for Western women as well. I'm not necessarily saying that they're going to find someone. I'm not saying that they're not going to get screwed over. I'm not even necessarily saying that I would encourage men to go do it. Like you said, if you want to, cool. The motivation for it is the fact that men are still expected to act very traditionally. They're expected to be very chivalrous. They're expected to be protectors. Maybe they're not expected to provide to the same extent now that women can essentially match them on income. But if that's what a man's duty to you is, to be chivalrous, it's very, very loosely defined what a woman's duty to a man is.
It's very ambiguous.
And that is why I think they go to places where they are actually taught from a young age how to treat a man. What is your duty to a man?
When you pay attention to the Passport Bros, they're getting women from the DR, Colombia,
Yes.
The Philippines, Thailand, women that can speak very little English, women that don't have education, women that need them.
I think it's very ignorant to assume that women in foreign countries don't speak English and that they are uneducated. And then on the flip side, there are people, including Western women, who understand where the Passport Bros are coming from.
The Passport Bros seem to be a high commodity nowadays, so let's just go ahead and get straight into it. These are the same men that you said you didn't want, didn't need, and they are broke. I'm going to be honest, going overseas to travel frequently and live does not equate to broke. But then again, this just simply speaks to the delusion and hypocrisy of women. These men have been very clear in their message. They've said time and time again they wanted wives, someone they could build with, start their family with, someone they could create a legacy with. What y'all heard was they wanted someone that they can control. Y'all minimize being a wife simply down to being a slave, even so much as telling those other women overseas that they're uneducated and practicing sex tourism. And in turn, a lot of y'all have took your degree and traded it in for an OnlyFans profile. Nobody said anything when women were going to Dubai. We know why you were going. Nobody said anything when women were flying state to state getting flued out. We know what you were doing. Nobody said anything when Nigerian and Jamaican men needed green cards and y'all started falsifying marriage documents so you could drive your Range Rover with your red bottoms. Let's just call a spade a spade. Y'all wanted the option to go back to these men after the man that you really wanted was done dragging you through the mud.
This narrow perspective dismisses the diverse experiences and achievements of women globally, oversimplifying complex realities into baseless assumptions. It fails to recognize the various challenges faced by women across different cultural, social, and economic backgrounds, while also undermining the strength and resilience they demonstrate in overcoming obstacles.
If we don't make a massive investment in young people and make more economically and emotionally viable men, we're going to see a lack of household formation, we're going to see a decline in the middle class, and we're going to see, quite frankly, just a lot of young men who are terrible citizens.
So is the answer to fix this economically, and who will champion this conversation? You felt obliged to compliment me at the outset because we had engaged on this a year ago, and here I am revisiting it. And I read into that the fact that you think that it's politically incorrect even to have this dialogue.
When you're seen as advocating for men because of the 300,000-year head start we've had, it seems somehow as anti-female. There's a lot of very unfortunate misogyny online that is masquerading as being pro-men. A lot of TikTok celebrities who talk about advocating for men. It's just thinly veiled misogyny. What do we need? We need more freshman seats in colleges. We need a massive investment in vocational training. We need to figure out a way to get more permitting for housing so young people can afford housing. We need to recognize our economic policies, literally allocate wealth from young people to old people. The percentage of wealth that young people control under the age of 40 has been cut from 12% to 6%. These are concerted, deliberate decisions. We did away with the child tax credit. We don't want to make it any easier for people to have kids, but seniors just got their largest cost of living adjustment increase in history. We have made the decision to make it harder and more expensive for people to find each other, for people to mate, and for people to have children. And without children, we turn into Japan and Italy, and that is we go into population decline and our economy goes into decline. We are about to become a society by the turn of the century. There will be 8 times as many people over the age of 60 and half as many kids under the age of 5. Nursery schools will become these strange situations with old people staring through fences at these creatures they don't see in the wild called children. Is this the world we want? Do we want a lack of kids? Do we want a lack of ability to create households? The happiest, most prosperous, most purposeful people in America are middle-class families. And we have made a concerted decision to punch it in the gut and make it harder for that type of family formation. And we're going to lose prosperity and we're going to lose purpose.
Okay. Attractive men are rare, attractive women are not. I told you guys all name traits about yourself, and you guys all have the same traits. So women aren't as special as you guys think that you are. That's my point.
Sounds like you just hate women.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
Somebody had to say it. True.
You know what? No, hold on. Good, I women, but am I a liar?
No.
Okay then.
Yeah.
You can call me you call me a fucking asshole, whatever, but what you can't call me is a liar.
You right about that?
That's the worst insult you can tell me is a liar. The reality is, a lot of you women are the same.
First off, when you're saying something to him, you're trying to insult. When he's saying something to you, he's trying to inform.
Ooh.
Because what you're doing is saying you're putting on him that there's a hatred behind the fact. But you're not taking the fact that the fact is the fact.
Damn.
The fact can be the fact, but I'm just saying what I feel.
Why would you assume? Why
See,
would
that's
he,
the problem. You feel.
Yeah. Why would he care about what you feel about the?
This mindset not only diminishes the valuable contributions of women from diverse nations, but also fosters division and superiority. It promotes a false narrative that belittles women from other countries, portraying them as inferior while elevating American women as possessing unique qualities.
Average attractive male on Tinder gets swiped less than 1% of the time, and there's 3 men on Tinder for every 1 woman. So you've distilled it, you've taken out one of the key components of mating dynamics, and that is vibe, humor, body language, pheromones, the ability to be, quite frankly, a little bit persistent in the pursuit of a romantic relationship. We have no third places anymore, no places to meet. People aren't going to bars, they aren't sports league, they aren't going to church, they aren't even going to work. So it gets distilled down to very 1 or 2-dimensional attributes. And the reality is women are much choosier than men, and they can apply those screens, and they allocate all of their attention to a small number of men that results in just essentially at the end of the day, a lack of opportunities. Chris Williams summarized it perfectly. He called it the high heels effect. In the last 40 years, more women have graduated from college than men, and they're not interested in mating with non-college grads. They now own more homes, single women than single men. So what you have is women say they won't date anyone shorter than them, 50% of them. Effectively, what you have metaphorically over the last 40 years is women have been getting taller and taller, and men have been getting shorter and shorter. How many of us have said, I know a ton of great single women, they can't find a date? That's not true. They can't find a date. They can't find a man they find economically or emotionally viable.
Are seeing a trend of women dating down, which means, you know, a man who...
Dating down.
Really?
Who wrote that?
I mean, I say all that. Disgruntled. This is just the reality of it. So women, you know, we're more educated now, and I think that we're furthering our education. So with that being said, we're going to hold off on the baby making. We're going to hold off until we get that great job, really career driven. And I don't think there's anything wrong with hoping that there's someone either on your level or higher than you.
So, okay. Go ahead, doctor. All right. So before, right, it was okay when the man made more money to be the one to buy everything, to do, you know, treat you and all this other kind of stuff. And now that you make more money, you can't be that one, right? You can't be the one to pay for the meal and because you're dating down.
What do you think about passport bros? What's your opinion about that concept?
Well, I think that, you know, like they go there because they can't really handle us here, you know.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of, like, I feel like they can't take the feminism and the fact that we actually speak up for ourselves. And, you know, the fact that we're independent and we do our own shit. And they don't like it. Like, some people don't like, some men actually do like it, but these men, I don't know why, they're so against it. They don't like to see us shine. I just don't know why.
Such beliefs hinder the potential for cross-cultural solidarity and learning, limiting the richness of global female experiences.
There are actually women who are now calling men predators if they want to date a woman from a different country.
Other cultures, a lot of women are more submissive.
Yeah, they're pervy. Men are traveling overseas to countries that have less money and less education. It's because they want a woman who is dependent on
foreign girls because you can't handle women. That's why.
And this whole thing is so offensive and ignorant because basically what they're saying is that if a woman is not from the US and she's not woke, then she is uneducated, she doesn't have opinions of her own, and she can't be outspoken, and that's why men go for her. So the Western women think they are superior because they are empowered and awake, right? It's the women from other countries who are educated and can be just as outspoken and have opinions and actually can still look normal, which a lot of people here in the US seem to struggle with.
You went hard.
I went here.
Okay. How much should your men make in a year?
Can we make it monthly?
Sure.
At least 100K a month.
Isn't that a bit high compared to the average income out there?
Well, if I'm talking about my partner, I don't think so.
Why not?
If I'm making 10K a month, he should be making 10 times more than me. And that kind of puts me in the feminine position, and I view him as the masculine, as the main provider in our family, as we're going to grow, expand our family.
100K a month? She's not even that attractive, maybe a 4 to 5 without makeup. The only man making 100K a month is using her face for NBA full court basketball. Between her forehead and teeth, you've got all the backboards you need. These women are beyond delusional when they aren't even close to high value. The entitlement is off the charts.
Nobody thinks they're average, or most people do not think that they are average. Is this confidence or is this delusion? And what inspired this video was me posting a TikTok from one of my girl interviews. To say the comments were concerning and eye-opening is actually an understatement. So now let me read some of the comments to you. Average has nothing to do with me. Some of us don't want to be average. LOL, okay, but these are based on averages and I'm not looking for an average man. I don't give an F. I want my man to be pulling 500K. My soul left my body when I read that one. No one can survive with less than 70K. Let's be very for real. Are we okay? If you can't survive on 70K, you have a spending problem.
Can you identify as a black person?
No,
Why?
because I'm not black.
I'm not a woman, but I can identify as a woman according to you.
If you transition, maybe.
What defines a transition?
If that's your goal, you know?
If you believe it.
Sure.
If you believe you're black, why aren't you black?
Well, that's just not, that's like genetics. That's like ancestry.
You're also born a man or a woman. It's the same thing. That's also genetics.
Okay, I'm over it.
I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to find someone that makes them happy. I want everybody to live a beautiful life that they want for themselves. I don't wish ill on anybody, but I can't stand the delusion. Now we all got to sit here and we got to be like, oh yeah, this is great. You know, this is somebody who could get 95% of guys. And imagine going through life with that sense of delusion. Like, we see it, and this is an extreme example, but when women walk around like that, imagine walking around thinking, I could get 95% of guys. How many guys are you telling no to because you think you're better than them? Are you? Or is it in your head? Just think about it. If you don't want to wind up alone, you have to have a realistic assessment of what you bring to the table, of your looks, of your capabilities, of what you're willing to do in a relationship, of your character. All of it.
Men always just want virgins that hadn't had sex with anyone and are really good girls. Like, you want younger women as well, so it's like that whole predator vibe. So
what if I said women are stupid, can't make money, short, and weak because they want a guy that makes more money than them, taller than them, more confident, ambitious, etc.? That would be ludicrous, wouldn't it? We don't shame female preferences. Okay? When a woman says, I want a man that's tall, makes money, etc., you go, girl, you deserve it. That's your preferences. If I say, I want a girl that's not a hoe, that has some sexual temperance, isn't going to embarrass me when I walk in a room, beautiful, young, etc. That's considered, oh, that's toxic and masculine. We demonize male preferences, but we don't demonize female preferences.
So what about the women that didn't choose to raise a kid on their own?
Of the 50+% divorce rate, women are filing 70-80% of our divorces. Women are choosing to wreck their own homes every day.
Relationship conflicts in Western societies often stem from imbalances in expectations and responsibilities between partners. Perceived inequalities can lead to resentment and tension, jeopardizing the foundation of trust and respect in a relationship. Effective communication, shared responsibilities, and mutual support are essential for maintaining healthy and thriving partnerships.
So what happened? Passport Bro's been posting videos all over the internet sharing how women from other countries are easy, right? They're submissive. They're all these things, right? And these men, these passport bros, don't necessarily have to marry these women. They'll just go from one foreign women to the next in their countries. And the men are now upset about it and running passport bros out of their countries. And it's because you guys aren't looking, many of you guys aren't looking to marry them. You just want to play with them. So what you're doing is, because it's easier for you to find somebody to sleep with in other countries than it is in the U.S., you go over there and mess with their women, and the men not having it. And you know what? They're right. They're right. They need to defend their women. You guys go over there and exploiting their women. What do you expect is going to happen? The men are going to run you out, passport bros. Stop getting your passports to go to other countries to sleep with women, man. Especially if you're not looking to marry them. I would have ran you out too.
But I'm not finding them. So if you're 28 and single, where you live in New York, it shouldn't be that hard to find.
Our school is connected to a hospital, so I'm dressed up, and there's a lot of real doctors here. So let me just, in case there's a husband. Husband, where you at? Doctors. Dr. Daddies, where y'all at? We're here for y'all.
Stop! Attention! If you want to be my husband and you live on this road, come outside now!
Where is the best place to find a husband? I'll go first. Instagram, and you want to know why? I don't know about you, but I believe the boy needs to put in the work. Like, boy, chase me, come after me.
No, thank you.
Like, I'm not trying to play games, but Cinderella did not chase after the prince. You see, when a dude hits you up on Instagram, he has no idea where you live unless you have it listed in your bio. Chances are, if you don't already know each other, you don't live in the same city. Girl, he's gonna have to buy a plane ticket or drive across the country to come meet you. And that's exactly the kind of effort we want and deserve. So let me tell you, when this guy Jake commented on my Instagram, I added him on Facebook. I didn't want him sliding into my DMs, I wanted him sliding into my Facebook Messenger. We sent lengthy messages back and forth for about 2 months. He invited me to come up to Northern California and hang out with his family, which is about 10 hours away. I said, no, but I'll be in Maui on my family vacation if you want to come. That boy bought a plane ticket to Maui. I didn't even tell him what time we were flying in. Respond to your Instagram comments, ladies.
I don't want any of my income to be needed in the family. I want the man to be 100% the supporter, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna work and I'm not gonna have my own business or whatever.
But you would want the family to be able to live solely off of your husband's income.
100% solely off of my husband. I don't want me to have to use my income at all.
So her money is her money, and her man's money is also her money. And it's funny, people will see videos like this and their only response is, oh, but not all women are like that. Okay, that's fine, but obviously there are women who are like this.
shit still boggles my mind. If a girl wants a guy who's older, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who's younger, it's creepy and immature. If a girl doesn't want to date a short guy, it's a preference. If a guy doesn't want to date a girl that's overweight, he's an asshole who's not focused on the things that matter. If a girl wants a guy who can take charge, it's a preference. If a guy wants a girl who will submit to his lead, he's, you guessed it, misogynistic. If a girl sets a boundary, it's empowering. If a guy sets a boundary, it's controlling. Women have preferences, men have something wrong with them. This isn't a double standard, it's just illogical. So why does anyone accept this?
By valuing diversity, understanding the challenges faced by women worldwide, and fostering unity rather than division.
Men
not what I said.
all the time.
Mostly women are leaving marriages and not men. Mostly women. At the college level, it's almost all women. Then men are the exception because women are initiating 90% of the time. And then if we break those stats down along religiosity, we might come up with some different numbers. But yes, it's mostly women breaking up the home. And
How
yes,
do you know that's not men's fault?
well, because we can ask these women why the divorce happened. And we can look at court documents for the reasons that they put for the divorce. And we can run different polls where we're talking to them. And what we find is the same thing that was pulled up the other night here on Whatever. He was a perfect guy. I just got f***ing sick of him. I don't like him anymore. There was no abuse. He didn't do anything wrong. I just don't fucking like him.
Is she not entitled to make that choice if she doesn't like her husband anymore?
I think that if you put your own self's entitlement above that of your children, in order to have access to their father in a two-parent household, you're setting them up for failure. And that's what we see in the stats.
Said, Chase, would you rather smash the hottest trans woman in the world or the oldest woman in the world? Honestly, bro, the oldest woman in the world, because then I wouldn't be gay. Are you like, Chase, how dare you be transphobic?
Yes, actually, what the f do you mean?
Because if I had sex with a trans woman, I'd be having sex with a biological man, and I don't want to do that. Because I'd be gay if I had sex with a biological man.
That's not gay.
That's
And
gay.
I don't even catch up the f actually.
I'm
She's right. I mean, that's really
But
hateful,
she's
bro.
not. She's not. Would technically be homosexual. A trans woman is a biological man. Sue me. It's true. You know what God said? It said He made the man and women. Who knew that stating biological facts would make people walk off the show?
L'assassin, c'est toi. El violador es tú. Son los pagos. Los jueces. El Estado. El presidente. El patriarcado es un juez que nos juzga por nacer. En notre punition. ¡Es femicidio! ¡Impunidad para mi asesino! ¡Es la desaparición! ¡Es la violación! ¡Y la culpa no era mía ni dónde estaba ni cómo decía!
Okay, on a serious note, where do like the 28-year-old single men hang out at? Because like 28 to like 30. You're so right. We're bopping around the West Village and I'm looking.
Strong and fulfilling relationships can be cultivated based on trust, respect, and shared effort.
Do you and the panel agree with the Passport Bro movement? Me personally, I think it's cool. Go to where you're appreciated. And if you're a guy and you're in the West and you cannot find an eligible partner that's going to appreciate you here in the West, and you can find that in Latin America, Southeast Asia, wherever it may be, Eastern Europe, go for it.
Can you kind of elaborate on Passport Bros?
Well, Passport Bros, basically, it's men who are dissatisfied with the women in the local environment. So typically you find them in Western countries, the United States, probably UK, Australia, just Western countries that are probably like a little more starting to go a bit woke. And so they'll often go to Latin America, they'll often go to Thailand or different countries where the perception is that in these countries, women are more traditional, they're more feminine, et cetera, et cetera. So they're moving there. And I think one interesting thing, so we have men from Western countries in the US that are going to these other countries to find women, but there's no men from other countries coming to the US clamoring to get with American women.
What would you do if I couldn't cook?
You'd be single.
Can you cook?
That's irrelevant.
Can you cook though?
I mean, can you fight? Exactly, let's ask pointless questions.
How is it a pointless question? I'm trying to get to know you.
Because that's your job.
What's my job?
To make sandwiches.
Did he actually just say, my job is to make sandwiches?
How am I going to fight off the intruders if you don't make sandwiches? I need sustenance.
You're a dick.
Something that women say to me all the time. Why don't you make your husband a sandwich? Okay. Is he hungry? Does he want a sandwich? Like, did he say something? I make my husband food. The last 4 nights, I've made my husband dinner. Like, I don't understand this weird maker. Like, they're trying to shame women for taking care of their families. Like, that is another element of feminism that I cannot stand. It's an attack on family and these things that work. It works.
Right.
Men are biologically unable to have children. So the aspiration to climb a ladder forever, to wake up every single day and not have to worry about being pregnant for 9 months, I mean, that makes sense. We're different creatures, you know?
I think that's like a troll though. No, it's like all you're good for is like, yo, make me something to eat.
No, that whole concept came from rabid feminists. Like there was something wrong with being in the kitchen, right?
Oh, okay.
And this was sort of this push of women get out of the home and go to work, which has made so many women miserable. So many women miserable.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.